Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and another rare bird today in these halcyon days for Sudoku solving. We've got a puzzle here that has a 100% rating on Logic Masters Germany, a hard thing to achieve indeed, and almost all of the 100% rated puzzles are monstrously difficult. They're 4 stars or 5 stars in terms of difficulty. This is 2 stars. So this puzzle, which is called Pieces by Jakhob and wooferzfg, has achieved something very, very clever indeed. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will note that this grid seems to be smaller than usual. It's an 8x8 grid. Now, yesterday I battled a 16x16 grid, so an 8x8 grid is positively, it's a mere bagatelle, isn't it? Well, we'll see about that. We've got vignettes going on today, i.e. each of these 4x4 boxes has to be sort of solved as an independent puzzle before we slot them all together. So I'm looking forward to giving this a go, and I'll read you the rules in just a minute or two. But let me start by just reminiscing briefly, if I may, about the last few days on the channel, because it has been such an extraordinary sequence of Sudokus. We had Agent's puzzle with the line in it, which I think I called the video "I beg you to try this puzzle," and I still do. If you've not tried it, you must try it. It's just incredible. And then the day after that, well, I think it was the day after that, we had the amazing chess puzzle by Christian Koenig, which has been getting so much attention and love, especially from those of you who like chess. In fact, it's probably the most wholesome thing going on in the world of chess at the moment is that puzzle. It's magnificent. It's such a clever hybrid. You actually have to know the rules of chess to solve it, and think quite deeply about them. But goodness me, it's stunning. And then we had our arithmetic quiz, and I've had several emails from maths teachers across the world who have been using that Sudoku to teach their children maths over the last few days. Isn't that brilliant? It's just great. And then yesterday we had Magnus Josephson and his incredible Philomeno embedded Sudoku hybrid with the 16x16 grid. So, I mean, Pieces, you've got a lot to live up to, but I actually think you're going to do it. So, yeah, it's cool times indeed. Now, let me look at my list of things I've got to talk about today. I'm going to start off by saying a very happy birthday to a 5th-year medic at Cambridge University called Kieran. Now, Kieran, I think you know this already because I did send you a short video, but your girlfriend, Alexa, I don't dare say that loudly for reasons I'm sure if you are a fan of the channel you will know. But yes, she wrote us a lovely email, and Kieran, I hope you have a brilliant day with lots and lots of cake. Oh, next, yeah, Mark said I had to tell you this. I've got an eye test later, so hopefully that will improve my scanning. No jokes, thank you. Next, oh yeah. Look at this picture. This is so cool. Now these 3 gentlemen, well, there's probably a combined 600 IQ in that picture. This is from Frankfurt. And on the left there, you've got Kodek, who many of you will know. What a brilliant setter he is. In the middle, you've got Nevario, another brilliant setter. And on the right, you've got the most appropriately named Sudoku setter of all. That is Tall Cat. Now, I've met Kodek in real life, and he is a very tall man. So Tall Cat is an absolute giant. And yeah, so it's just a brilliant photo, and it tickles us pink to hear about, you know, real life meetings between Sudoku fans who I guess have probably met because of Cracking the Cryptic existing, and I gather a good time was had by all. So that's brilliant news. What else do I need to mention? Oh yeah, Kodek, in fact, from that picture has a new blog on which he's posting the occasional puzzles. I think he's focusing on small puzzles, 7x7s, he told me. So very much in the mould of this one, which is obviously 8x8. But yeah, check that out. I will try and remember to put a link to it in the video description. Other than that, we are streaming tomorrow night. We're continuing our playthrough, our 500,000 subscriber special app. If you've not got the app, you should get it. It's totally free. Just type Cracking the Cryptic into your app provider and you will find it. Oh yeah, we've got a big announcement coming soon, but it's coming soon, so I can't tell you what it is. Oh yeah, and on Patreon it's just finished the September reward, so we'll be publishing the solution videos very soon. So check those out if you had trouble with the puzzles. And Mark and I have been thinking about what we should do as a collaborative solve next after our solve of Jabberwocky by Dad Jokes that a lot of you have been loving. So if you have any suggestions as to which puzzle we should attempt to solve together the next time we do that, then do let us know. Either drop us a tweet or send us an email or something, and we will see which puzzles get the most votes. Now, all that said and done, I don't think there's anything else I've got to tell you. Let's have a look at Pieces by Jakhob and wooferzfg, and I will read you the rules. Now, in each of the 4x4 grids, place exactly 4 of the digits from 1 to 9, such that digits do not repeat in the 2x2 regions. So we've got to do little Sudoku. So imagine that we've filled these digits or these cells with 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we would know that this 4x4 was only using the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we'd have to fill in, you know, this is not going to work with the arrows. I'm not attempting to get it to work, but it would have to, you know, it'd have to look something like this. We'd have to do sort of Sudoku, such that this was a valid Sudoku and obviously obeyed the arrow rules, which I've failed to do utterly here. And that's how that would work. But then it says digits may not repeat in a row or column of the full 8x8 grid. So then we'd have to use this knowledge about this 4x4 to tell us something about this grid, this box here. So this would have to be these digits on the left hand side would have to be from 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and we've got an 8 there. So that's how that needs to work. And I think apart from that, the only other rules are sort of expanding on what the graphics in the grid mean, and everything's standard. So we've got each purple line contains a set of consecutive and non-repeating digits in any order. So imagine there was a 1 here. These two cells would have to be a 2 and a 3 in some order to ensure the whole line was A, a consecutive sequence, and B, didn't contain a repeat. Digits on arrows must sum to the digit in the circle. So if that was a 2 and that was a 5, that would be a 7. 2 plus 5 equals 7. There is a knowledge bomb for you. Neighbouring digits on a green line must differ by at least 5. So this is German whispers down here. So if that was a 2, 2 plus, well, this square would have to be at least 5 different from 2, and we can't do negative numbers in Sudoku, at least not in this one, so that would have to be 7, 8 or 9, and then this would have to be at least 5 different from 9, so that would have to be 1, 2, 3 or 4, etc, etc, and you'd oscillate in terms of high-lowness as you moved along your green line, as many of you know, it's the secret of German whispers. Now, in cages, digits must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. Digits cannot repeat within a cage. So those 4 digits there contain no repeated digits and sum to 24. That's it. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And where shall we start? We shall start with, which one of these boxes looks the most appetizing? Maybe this box, because I can see I can do some colouring immediately. So what I'm thinking here is that this digit, let's make that yellow, has to find a home in this box, and it can't repeat within its own cage. So by Sudoku it's not in those. So it's got to go there, I think, in box number 16. And in box number, hang on, what number? Box number 12, which I think this is. So I'm 1, 2, this is how I'm counting these. I don't know if this is what I meant to do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. I think that's box 12. Where does yellow go? Well, it can't repeat in its cage, and it's got to appear somewhere, so it's got to go there. And that means that we can place yellow in box number 11. So we've got all our yellows placed. Now, what? Right, so this digit is not yellow. clearly, because it's got yellow there and there. So let's make that green and ask where green goes in this box. Green's got to go here. Which, hang on a minute, how can I get greens in these other boxes? I can, I don't know actually. How do I do that? Why can't I see how to do this? Oh, this is bad. What's wrong with my brain? It's because I haven't had the eye test yet. I don't know whether this is green or not, so I can't use it to colour. Okay, maybe I can't do very much more in this box down here. What about this? This is a 12 cage. Oh, yeah, okay. So yellow, because we know there are 4 different digits in this 4x4 that sum to 24, well, if those 2 cells sum to 12, then those 2 cells sum to 12. So that's interesting, because that means that the disposition of digits in this 4x4 has to contain 2 of the 3 pairs of digits that sum to 12 in Sudoku. So it's got to consist of either 3, 9, 4, 8 or 5, 7. So 2 of those 3 pairs are in this box. I had a really cool thought there, but it doesn't work. I suddenly thought that's going to take 2. Yeah, I think it's going to put quite a lot of pressure on the horseshoe of the whisper, because right. So let's go through the secrets of of German whispers. The secrets of German whispers are twofold. Firstly, you can't put a 5 on a whisper. And you can't put a 5 on it because the next digit becomes impossible. It's got to be 5 different from 5, which means it's either 0 or negative, or 10 or higher, which are not valid Sudoku digits. So that means that this digit here, it either has the quality of lowness in relation to 5, or the quality of highness in relation to 5. Now imagine it was lower than 5. Then we could say something very definitive about this digit as regards its relationship to 5, because if this is 1, 2, 3 or 4, this square, once it's 5 different from this, has to be on the high side of 5. But then this digit would have to be on the low side of 5 again. So you get this oscillating effect along a whisper line. Now what that means in a horseshoe like this is that 2 of these digits have to be lower than 5 and 2 of them have to be higher than 5. So I was just thinking about that in the context of what goes in this 4x4 box, because we know that 2 of the digits, 7, 8 and 9, have to be used in here because there are 2 different ways of summing to 12 in this 24 cage. And that's going to knock 2 of the high digits out of this horseshoe. So actually we can say at this point that the bottom 4 rows of the grid do use all 4 high digits. They must do. I'm not sure if that matters. So actually, does that mean I have to use an 8 over here? Surely I do. Because now I'm thinking that this digit, I don't know where the 8s are in this box. I've not thought about this box at all, but there are some 8s up here disposed around this 4x4. Now that means there are no 8s on there. But because we're using all 4 high digits in the bottom 4 rows of the grid, that means that we must have an 8 over here. So I don't know how to pencil mark this. So there's a 4 down here as well, because there are 2 digits that add up to 12. So either this is adding up to 12 or these are adding up to 12. Once there's an 8 in one of these, there's a 4 in one of these, which means there's no 4 on my whisper line. So the whisper low digits are from 1, 2 and 3. And there must be a 6 on this line. I don't know if I'm doing this the right way at all, but I'm finding it really quite interesting. I think there must be a 6 on here, because if there wasn't, this whisper line would take up 2 of the high digits from 7, 8 and 9, and then you couldn't put 2, there wouldn't be 2 ways in this box of adding up to 12. So there must be a 6 on this line. Now you can't put 6 in the middle of a whisper line, because if you do that you've got to surround it with double 1. So now I actually know there's a 6 in one of those 2 squares, which means there's a 1 in one of these 2 squares by whisper logic, because the only digit that goes with 6 is 1, which actually is not very interesting as far as this box is concerned, is it? Because we already knew there was no 1 in here. The only person in here is me. And in this box there's no 1, because we know we're looking at digits from 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 and 9, because we need the 12 pairs. Let's get rid of these 8s before they confuse me. Now I know... So now I know in this box there's no... I'm thinking about this renban. Because this renban doesn't have an 8 on it, because this 8 sees every cell on it. But now, once I dispose 6s around this box, however I do that, so 6, 6, 6, 6 or something, not that, no, that wouldn't work. There's no 6 on this line either. But the same is true of 1. There's no 1 on this line either. So actually, this is weird. It's a weird way of solving. But now, this line has to be selected because it's 3 consecutive digits. So it can't have 9 on it. It can't have 8 on it. It can't have 7 on it, because if it's got 7, it needs to have 6, because it can't have 8. So it's got to be selected from 2, 3, 4... and 5 only, which means it has 3 and 4 on it, I think. Let me just think about that for a moment. Is that true? I think it's true. I can't see another way of doing it. And if that's got 3 and 4 on it, then there's no 3 or 4 in the horseshoe of the German whisper. So, and it's got to have 2 low digits on it. So this has now got 1 and 2 on it. As for sure. I thought that was going to be quite... Oh, but that's beautiful. That is beautiful. So now that 2 bounces back up here, and I now know what's on the renban. So by solving, or by thinking about this box and this box, I've actually solved this box, which is now 3, 4, 5 and 8. That feels very peculiar to me. I've not even looked at this box yet. Right, okay, well now I can place 8 in this box, because 8 is not in those 2, and if it was here, that square would have to be a 7 or a 9, but it's only got 3, 4, 5 and 8 available. So that's 8. Bar humbug, I don't know what that means. So maybe I do have to think about this box then. Yeah, okay. Okay, I probably should have started here actually. There's a 3-cell arrow up here. So a 3-cell arrow with different digits in those 3 squares. Well, if we minimize these, we'd get 1, 2 and 3. Now that would add up to 6. So this square here is 6, 7 or 9. It can't be 8. Oh, what's that? Let me check that, whether that's about my my eye test. No, it's not. Okay, well it's not 6, because 6 would require... Oh, this is done. This is 9. This is done, because remember there's a 3, 4 and a 5 in every row of this. So this arrow has not got 3, 4 or 5 on it. So it must have 1, 2 and 6 on it. That's the only way it can work. Because on a 3-cell arrow you can never put a 7 or an 8, because you'll blow this total. So that's got to be 9. So now that's 9. I don't know what that means. Probably something very important. That digit goes there. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, this is important. That's nice. Okay, so this digit goes here. because it's got to appear in this column, and therefore it can't be 6, look, because then this square, if this is 6, what are we going to put in this square from the digits 1, 2, 6? We can't put 9 in, so this would have no possible value. So that's a 1 or a 2. Oh, hang on, now I've got a problem. Because this can't be 6 now, because that would have to be like a 4 or a 5, and that's not an available option. And it can't be 9, so that's a 1 or a 2. That's a 1 or a 2 on a 3-cell arrow, so that's got to be a 2 with double 1 on it, which is a weird thing to have to think about. So 1 goes up in the corner, which makes this a 6 and this a 2. I'd love to know if I'm in any way pursuing the intended path here, because I feel like I'm doing this in the most peculiar manner, and it's absolutely wonderful. I'm having to think about it in such strange ways. Now, what's that then? That can't be a 2. Oh, I see. So it's 6 or 9. Okay, 6 or 9 is fine for this digit. Oh, which means, oh, I see. So the question I should ask is, where does 2 go in this column? Because this can't be 2. The reason that can't be 2 is that would force double 1 on the arrow, and those 1s would clash. So actually, this is a 2, which makes that a 2, and that a 6. Oh, and I get a right, okay, so I get a deadly pattern of 6s and 9s, except it's either going to be resolved by this arrow or by this Renban. Yes, yeah, okay, it's resolved by this Renban, because this can't be 9, because that would require an 8 here. So that's 6, that's 9, that's 9. This square's therefore 5 by the power of consecutiveness. So these two squares are a 3-4 pair, which I presume is very important for the following reason. How do I get this resolved? I can... Right, I see. I colour, don't I? That cell. Where does that cell live in this box? Now, it's not in those two cells by Sudoku, and it's not on its own Renban, because if it was, there would be a repeated digit on the Renban, which is against the rules. So that digit goes there and is therefore not a 5. So that's orange, and presumably that extends here as well. Same logic. This can't be orange, so that's orange. Whoa! I wanted to make that orange. Ah! Now give it a 3-4 moniker. So that's lovely, but does it actually do anything? Okay, so that's orange now. Oh, that does it. That's weird. Okay, there's another weirdness, because now orange in box 2 has to go there, which makes a 3-4 pair and gives me a 5 here out of nowhere, which means that's not 5, which means that, oh, that's so clever. And now this Renban comes into its own, because once I've got 5 on it, that can't be 3, and that disambiguates the 4s and the 3s. This is so beautiful. It really is just beautiful. So that's a 4. Ah! Type 4 in, Simon. That's a 5. That's a 4. That's an 8. And that's an 8. Oh dear, hang on. I don't know who that is. I better just take that, sorry. Hello?
Hello, is this the Dan?
Speaking.
Hello, calling from Woodland Surgery. Just to let you know that your private referral letter is here.
Oh, brilliant.
You were going to collect.
Yes, I'll come in and collect it. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Sorry, well, as you probably heard, I got interrupted by the phone, but I think we were on the right track, weren't we? And that was a very short phone call. So let me just think about this. What has that done to the world? That is the question. I know. Oh, I've got it. I've got it. Right. Okay. So we just had. I've just been looking at this box, but now I want to look at this box, because I've got a 9 in this box, so there's no 9 in this box. And if there's no 9 in this box, there's no 9-3 pair adding up to 12 in this box. So this box must be 4, 5, 7 and 8. It just must be. Now, what does... Oh, okay. And now this, of course, fixes my my whisper over here, which now hasn't got 8 on it and can't have 7 on it either. So it must have its high digits, must be 6 and 9. And 1 and 2. So we've actually... And we know there's a 6 up here, so there's no 1 up here, and we know that there's no 6 down here because there'd have to be double 1 on it. So everything is falling into place. Actually, I'm going to leave that 6 there and that 1 there in case that matters. So it's the thing that's slightly strange here, though, is how does this all resolve itself? This cell... Oh no, it's a whisper. For some reason I was thinking it's a renban. I was thinking it can't be a 1 or a 2 on this end, but that's actually total nonsense because it's got to be 5 different across the junction. How am I going to do this? Is it this 9 arrow? I suppose, okay, the top digit there's got to be from 4, 5, 7 or 8, and this digit's 1, 2, 6 or 9. It's not 9 because this can't be 0. This isn't 6 because that can't be 3. Okay, so this is low, which means where does 6 go? Along here. 6 can only go there. That's got to be a 7 or an 8 now in order to make the maths work. Oh, I see. Yes, I see. Right, what I've missed... This is beautiful. Right, what I've missed is, of course, this alternates polarity, doesn't it? So as soon as we know there's a 6 in one of these 2 squares, you can't have a 9 up here as well, because these would both be low, and they wouldn't be 5 different. That's gorgeous. It's simple, but gorgeous. So actually, this becomes a 2, 6 pair, which makes that cell a 2, which makes this cell a 7. So this is a 1, 9 pair. I don't know how this is getting. Presumably that's going to resolve this, maybe. Yellow can't be 7, look, because there's a 7 here. And that cell seems to have to be yellow. So yellow is not 7. So that square is 4, 5 or 8. Oh, good grief. Okay, they've done it again here then. So now I know there's a 7 in this column, and it can't go there. And because 7 can't be yellow, it's not there. So 7 is in this 12 cage, which makes this 12 cage 5, 7, not 4, 8. So that's got to be a 4, 8. That's got to be a 4, 8. So yellow is 4, 8. Oh, look. And now I've got a 4, 8 pair here. So this becomes 5. So this becomes 4 or 8, which means this becomes a 5, 7 pair. Now let's just see how we... Okay, so that's 7 by the power of Sudoku. So that's not 7. So what have we got here? Oh, this can't be 5. Oh, that's it. Look. So now this little tiny German whisper line... Well, where does 5 go? It can't go on the whisper, ever. So the 5 goes there, which means this is now 4 or 8, which gives me a 4, 8 pair here. So this is 5, that's 7, that's 5. This square here is 4 or 8, and now we can use the whisper line. So if this is 4, this has to be 9, which actually looks possible, surprisingly. And if this is 8, this has to be low and would have to be 1. So in this column, that's a 6. There's got to be a 2, look, on the whisper line down here. Yeah, okay, that's lovely. Right, so again, it's this same principle that we've just used there. Look at the digits we've got to place in this triple. They are the digits 1, 2 and 9, but we can't put 1 and 2 down here because they would then be consecutive on the green line. So there must be a 9 to accompany the 2. So that's 2, 9, which gets us this digit as a 1, which forces that to be high, which is going to tell us that yellow now has become 4. All of these get done. That's a 1, that's a 9. I don't quite know how do we finish this bit now. So do we know the order? So if this is 2, that's 9. That's low then. So this is 1. Okay, I don't quite see how to do this. How does this get resolved? If that's 9, that's high, but it could be a 9 again. Sorry, I'm not quite appreciating what's going on here. Let me think about this again. So one of these is a 6-1 pair vertically. Is there some restriction about that then? Right, okay, there is. Okay, it's strange, but I don't think that can be a 6-1 pair. Let me just show you that. So if that's a 6-1 pair, in this box now I've got to put a 6 here. And that puts a 1 beneath, as the next cell on the whisper, beneath this one. So that's a very cute finish actually. That's got to be 6, that's got to be 1. Now the 6 gets isolated from the whisper. The 1 gets here, which tells us the parity, look. In terms of now that's got to be low by oscillation. That's got to be 9. And that's got to be 2. And that's the finished grid, I think. What a beautiful puzzle. That deserved all the plaudits it's got. I totally understand why that's got a 100% rating. You can get so much by just thinking about, you know, the sort of digit patterns that have to cross the 4x4s. I'd love to know whether that's the solution path I've just alighted on there. I thought it was so beautiful that there have to be 2 high digits in here and 2 high digits in there for the whisper, and then because you can't put 8 anywhere on this whisper, there has to be an 8 in this box, which means there has to be a 4 in this box, which meant that there had to be, what did that mean? These were from 1, 2 and 3. I can't remember, but then I think I was able to use the fact that there was a 6. Yeah, then I worked out there had to be a 6 in this box because you couldn't use 2 high digits from 7, 8 and 9, and that broke this Renban open, which broke this whole box open. Oh, it's just quality, absolute quality. The pair of you, take a bow and let me know in the comments how you got on. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And now I'm going to go off and get my scanning fixed by having an eye test. See you later on Cracking the Cryptic.